my name is Burcu, Güldür, Erkal. We're going to be doing a presentation with Professor Maile together because it is related to a course, elective course that we have taught last semester together, which is AI-driven insights in architecture, engineering, and construction. So I guess it would be good to give an introduction about us. So we are from Technische Hochschule Augsburg, and under the Faculty of Architecture and Civil Engineering, we're in a program called Digital Design and Production. So we have a little bit of room to improve the traditional methods and the courses and change them a little bit and try to engage students, and being an applied sciences university gives us that opportunity. So being the last presentation always has this psychology, so we know that we're the last standing persons between you and the colorful Porto streets at this point, but thank you for staying till the last presentation. So let me quickly start. So here is a disturbingly similar image for me and Professor Maile. So we are having this problem. So actually, I guess like everyone has this problem. So there are many, many AI tools at this point. So when we're teaching, so we think about always like ChatGPT is the first thing that comes up to the mind of students as well. But there are many, many tools. So we were discussing this at the university, and they gave us this training. They were talking about more than thousands and thousands, like nearly 30,000 AI tools for different specific applications, not geared towards education, obviously, but there are many tools. So we were discussing how we can actually learn about those, or which ones will be efficient or beneficial for us to utilize in our courses. So we came up with a solution to be, so okay, the end party are our students, obviously, so we wanted to work with them. So we designed a course such that they will be the judge of the AI tools that they're going to be testing them, and they're going to be giving us feedbacks about how effective they were and how useful they found those AI tools. So the idea of the course was actually we wanted them to perform basically literature review. So that was the initial idea on an AI application in AEC. So we wanted them to start with the manual literature review, as we have done that in our PhD times, I guess. So it's now ancient. But then, so we wanted to start with that to begin with, and then we switched them to the AI-based literature review options, and then wanted to use them together to specifically focus on a certain application. So the steps of the courses, we started with an introduction. We gave them the basics and just set them up for the course, and they picked their AI topics. So we kept it fairly broad, and then they performed their traditional literature review, and then performed AI-based literature review. Then the use case investigation started, so they focused on their specific application and tried to use them both together. And the AI tools were integrated as well, so we ended up like, so our idea was to have a comprehensive AI understanding, at least for the literature review applications for a certain AI, for their specific application type. So how we designed the course is that we had these introduction classes, and then we had consultation sessions for the students, and in total they did 4 presentations throughout the semester with certain, so for certain key outputs of the course, so like the, okay, manual literature review, AI-based literature, and it went on like that. So now I guess like I'm gonna, oh, no, sorry. I talked completely, sorry. So I forget about this part, sorry. So we gave them several options. So we talked about several tools that they can actually use. So here you can see Perplexity, SciSpace, Consensus, Elicit, ChatGPT was an option, and Research Rabbit. So we explained a little bit, you know, how they can actually engage with that. And then we wanted them to play with them a little bit, so see how easy or hard for them to use different tools. So I guess like the question is like, are you guys using AI tools for literature review? So that was my question. So is everyone using it at this point, right? Right? Okay. So I guess like at the end of the presentation, we can ask which tools, right? So like, which tools are you using? And I mean, apart from these, but these are the ones that we found to be very related to our application. So at the end, we ask the students to rate these depending on the usage, intuitive user interface, quality and quantity, and new aspects. As you can see, ChatGPT dominated the initial usage and especially interfaces, and then the Research Rabbit and the SciSpace came with the usage quality and quantity, but they got a little bit burnout when they were actually trying consensus, perplexity, and elicit, and also they were, so like there was an issue about prepaid, paid subscriptions as well, so like there are some other issues, but all in all, they were able to try them out and gave their feedback to us. So now I'm gonna switch back to Professor Maile.
Okay, hello everyone. So what we want to do next is look at some of the topics that the students actually picked and looked into, and we have 11, 12 topics, so ranging from cost estimation, BIM integration, project monitoring, landscape architecture, energy optimization, prefabrication, and so on. And we thought we kind of bring some of the slides that students generated with us today just to give you guys a sense of what happened there. So we had one student who looked at how he can generate EPDs more automatically, and he ended up eventually finding this concept of RAG, and he created this great slide where he actually explained how RAG can help him find specific data in PDF files. Then we had a group that looked at different robots that are out there that can help us on the construction side to do stuff. So most of you have probably seen the Spot robot or the Animal one. We had a group that looked at generative design, which I think is a really interesting topic that we need to pay attention to. And they used a tool and selected a site in Augsburg where they created a couple of different designs, which was quite impressive. And then we had a student looking at just generating floor plans, which is also an area where things are really interesting, the developments there. And one more example is prefabrication. So how can we use AI in prefabrication? And we had a group that looked at kind of the process of how to go from the customer to the final house, and where in this process we could actually use AI to help us with specific tasks. And then for the paper, I thought we are gonna we had this broad range of topics and this broad range of things related to AI, machine learning, regression models, computer vision, NLPs, and so on. And I tried to kind of mark the areas where we had different topics from the students. And as you can see, I mean, it's really broad, and we covered a lot of ground in this course. And I think we got a pretty good overview of what's out there, which we also got, I think, a pretty good reflection from the students on the feedback that 65% of the students really thought that the course was helping them to deepen their knowledge about how we can use AI in our industry. So to conclude, we got pretty good feedback from the students about the learning experience. We also learned that there are many AI tools out there also just for the literature review. While we're doing the course, we learned about 2 new tools that we also needed to look at, so that kind of proves the point. And then kind of at the end of the course, which was early this year, our conclusion was that the best thing to do is still a combination of manual literature review and using those AI tools. And I think the reason mainly is because they're all not using the same data set in terms of scientific papers. And so if you use different tools, you kind of span a wider range of data, of papers and scientific knowledge. And then also one thing that we found interesting, Burcu and I kind of love teaching in English because we all spend time in the US. And our students don't like to do that, actually. They like German a lot better, and we noticed that there's quite a big difference when you kind of search for scientific papers, if you do it in German or in English. And then we thought, since we are the last one here, and we have so many experts here in education, we can ask this question. If you have any ideas for the next version, our ideas is to do kind of more hands-on experience with these tools, just to kind of give them a bit more guidance at the beginning. And then we were also thinking about kind of digging deeper into these 12 topics that they're already investigated, because one semester, 3-4 students looking into one topic, you just can't kind of get really deep into it. And then finally, we thought we could gather some digital data from you guys on which tools are you using for literature review and what ideas do you have for improving our course, which we will do again in the winter semester.